Welcome to free conference calling. The conference has not started. If you are the host, please enter your 4-digit host code to open the conference. If you are not the host, please press the star key to connect to the conference and wait. We will now connect you to your call. Please say your name. Your host has yet to join. Thank you for waiting. Your host has yet to join. Thank you for waiting. Your host has yet to join. Thank you for waiting. will now connect you to your call. Conference recording started. The host has joined the conference.
All right, we're ready to go. So I'm going to pass out the folders here for our review. Today's a light one because the manifest due to some technical glitches yesterday is going to be done tomorrow. We'll resume tomorrow at 1 p.m. for a work session, and we'll probably start that off with an actual meeting to review a few things, right, Brian? That's correct. Okay, so we'll go through it. I give you an empty, no action to be taken in this folder, huh, Tom? No action. Okay. Again, with the manifest, we'll do our minute review tomorrow as well. So it's pretty light on the folders today. And Chuck has the only stuff on the signature folder. Is nothing in here today. So it looks like the mail is the only thing we're reviewing today. Must be the long weekend. Everybody wanted to just ease into the week. I tried. There you be, sir. Did you say those other two folders are empty? Yeah. Technical difficulties, which I understand have been remedied, so. Related to a holiday. The computer system wanted an extended holiday as well.
On this, for storage, septic,
Okay.
you seen this?
No, not yet.
Okay. I guess my question is, who gets to waive the minimum distances and all that?
Essentially, the state gets to waive a lot of, if it has things to do with, rules and regulations of the town, yeah, it depends. There can be, not often, there can be an overlap in some of that. Very rarely, I think.
What is it, a septic system?
Apparently, I haven't seen it.
It might be a well radius
Yeah.
within the 75 feet. You have to sign off on it as the property owner and it's recorded at the registry.
There you go. There's an example.
DES will allow it if it's one of, I had to sign off on mine when I put my septic last fall. Because our water supply is in the 75-foot required radius between the wells.
It's typically on a smaller size lot.
Yeah, your smaller lots, you don't need that, yep, absolutely.
Well, if you need time to gather your thoughts on that, we can address it tomorrow before.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah.
The property, I don't,
Yeah, if there's anything you run into that you have concerns or you'd like to, understand a little more, we can typically push it out a little bit so you can do your.
don't initial it yet?
Well, you can initial it, you saw that, but if, as far as signing off on it, is there something for us to sign?
No,
but-
you don't do anything with septic systems, that's all state.
Right, well, unless there's something they're asking us to sign off on. We have one that I'm aware of that we need to sign off on. I've been working with the state on that. But that's not that one.
Rarely.
Yeah, rarely. Like you said, a well radius might be.
I'd say that, I think that's what that is, if I remember, she wants a lot of this. Should be a plan attached, you see the plan attached there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the property that I'm talking?
Yeah, existing, I'm trying to
There is none.
sneak well,
The well's in the
here's
house.
the septic system.
This is the new one. There isn't one there now. This is the new one they want to put in.
What are you saying here? Oh, down here, is this what you're
Yeah.
looking at? For minimum distances, minimum distances, minimum distances. So you'd have to look up this, rule, ENVWQ 1008, section 4, and that would tell you right here too. Nope, this one. Yep, right here. That would tell you, the rule would tell you, the rule is what the rule is, and then you'll know the waiver is from that rule, an aspect of it or something like that.
Yeah, environmental 1000.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it could be,
septic typically.
let's see, approximate failed EPA to be abandoned. Listed septic tank to be crushed. Might be because of proximity to the roads, because it's really crunched in there.
The well was inside the house.
They had a, trying to see where the well radius is, and it doesn't really show. Existing well, that's across the street, existing well, oh, there's an existing well there. Oh, where is this? Is this the one down on?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah, that's right.
They're putting that baby in there. Okay. Better to have an updated system than that's cool.
And even the information is wrong on the front,
I mean,
the description of the property.
oh, no, it has 3 bedrooms.
It's in an apartment building, apartment house, so it's 2 floors, 2 rentals on.
Yeah, but this came up, this was the thing that came up with us. Yeah, there was something came up with this, with the 3-bedroom thing. Oh, let's see, it might be in the notes here, but I can barely see.
I think we're gonna talk on that tomorrow.
Yeah, you can talk on it tomorrow, you're gonna need to read the
I'll just
notes.
ask him.
Yeah.
I'll give you a copy of it, you can take it with you and look it over if you want.
Are you done with that?
I remember then, she came in when they were designing that septic system. I think there really only are 3 bedrooms. One 2-bedroom apartment and kind of like an efficient apartment.
And then you got the store on the first floor.
But they only had to refer to it as bedrooms. Yeah, I don't even think there's a bathroom.
With the store? They have to be?
I don't know where it is. I'm not even sure those are even rented. I mean, the 1 2-bedroom is, but I don't think the 3rd floor is it?
We can talk to, zoning officer next week about that, because I'm not sure those things are legal.
There was something that.
Look into it. It's on your list, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebecca's in.
Because you only design a septic system based on the number of bedrooms. Not 4 toilets if you want. Build your system based on the number of bedrooms.
When?
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't be here tomorrow, actually.
No.
I need to figure out how to run that.
So Tom, this is what I'm talking about, under, terms and conditions, H. The approval for construction does not supersede any equivalent or more stringent local ordinances or regulations. That's not that we have anything really on the books that I'm aware of that probably overlap. I do know the individual at State, who's the subsurface bureau individual. I can reach out and ask the question, if you'd like.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, just give me a list of what your concerns would be. Is it on the plan that you're concerned about the distance to the minimum distances is really it, right?
Yeah, and depending on where the right of way is up at that corner,
Okay.
I just don't see how that could work there.
So your concern is the right of way?
Where they're placing the new septic and all,
Mm-hmm.
and the leaching field, all right in here,
Mm-hmm.
and the new tanks right here. You got this road here, you're gonna have right of way. School Street. See, here's their driveway here, their side driveway for these apartments.
This is, the sneak road is discontinued?
Yeah, you know.
Right. So,
That's been,
It's,
deeded to the abutters, that sneak road.
right, so you can use that.
That's a driveway, baby.
yeah, but you got 1, 2, 3 abutters there.
Yeah, but what happens is 50% of this road gets deeded back to the property owners. It's a split. So this actually, out here, if that's the center of the road, that's their property from there over, so there's no right of way.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Does that change things for you there?
Except for the right of way on School Street,
And,
which I haven't found a proper.
well, they're depicting it here. I guess the question is how wide is this? What have they put down for the measurement there?
Yeah.
Okay. I can contact the designer, I know, that individual as well. Minimum distances and the right of way to the width of the road.
Yeah, and does the store come into play at all?
I don't believe so. It doesn't add to septic load. It doesn't have gray water there or a bathroom. I'm not even sure gray water would add to it, just a bedroom.
Yes, bedrooms, there'll be some bedrooms, I'm gonna just look at them.
All right, if you have any more, just let me know and I'll add it to my list. I know way too many people with DES this day.
And there was one other reading item in there.
Oh, yes. Is there a missing, anything missing here? Or, oh, there it is, right? Oh, I thought that was the septic document. Get to the bottom and I said, that ended kind of funny.
As an attorney, anything's possible.
Oh, boy.
So,
Did I initial out loud?
Yes, you did.
Did I initial?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Now that I have done it, all is done.
All is initial.
Oh, boy. Alrighty then. Agenda. Let's see what we've got going on. Not a whole heck of a lot. We had Turner's response to the Winter Road contract 91A request that continues to kind of play out here. The well-discussed septic sewage disposal plan, which we'll have some question and answers coming on that. The manifest and minutes are deferred till tomorrow's business on 1 o'clock, which we should probably post that, Chris, as a selectmen's meeting at this point, more than just a work session, if that has not been done. And let's see, old business, meeting scheduled with zoning officer, which will be actually, we'll push that out to next week. I'll contact Rebecca. Have a number of issues there with road contractor to follow up on. He is presently trying to catch up on some of his work that he had with other clients, because we've kind of occupied a lot of his time recently in town with a few issues that we've had.
I have a question.
You can, sir.
The culvert replacement on Pine River Road,
Yes.
is that gonna be under the budget? What's that budget item gonna be? It's over $8,000 so far.
Right now, we'd have to put that under road maintenance and materials as things come in for both of those. If you try to kind of keep a running tally of the materials and the labor on that project in some kind of a separate spreadsheet of some sort, some kind of, something we can look back on, just to have a knowledge of what that cost us in total, because that will be an item for the budget committee and for review, I'm sure. So whatever comes in on that whole adventure, which will probably start before the actual work, when we were dealing with the whole beaver, the mess, you know, we couldn't get the thing unplugged. All of that stuff's probably gonna tie into that one project as an unexpected expense. Whatever you can do.
You want me to put a separate line item in the road maintenance budget for that one item and then move stuff to that, so you know the exact cost of that? Or do you wanna just leave it under the road maintenance and break it out in a separate spreadsheet?
I think probably leave everything as is in the chart of accounts and break out a separate spreadsheet or something for it, because if we start adding more things into the chart of accounts, I think Dave and the budget committee folks have gone out like, it's probably not what they're gonna wanna see. But if we have a total and we run over for some, you know, because this is gonna be this expense, at least if we have a file that we've kept separately that we can present saying these are the accounts. Chuck, how do you feel about that? I noticed you.
I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking from the budget committee standpoint, I'd rather not expand the chart of accounts. But I do think we need to add track it. And I think an Excel sheet might be the easiest way to do that. Just a short, simple 4 or 5 line Excel sheet.
Absolutely.
That way, when the question comes in, because it's going to come in, my guess is it'll be, well, it was already asked in the last budget meeting.
Right.
And it's gonna, in the July budget meeting, I know it's gonna come up again. So having a short Excel sheet with the, whatever information we have as of the July budget committee meeting, I think would be of value.
There are a few other expenses still coming on that, because when we get the paving crew comes in, they're gonna do a patch. And Ron is also going to come back to finish the top of the head walls with some concrete stuff. So there's at least those two items.
And he's also making a beaver dam grate.
Beaver dam grate. Engineering costs are gonna come in for the next permit, which God only knows where we're gonna put that. You know, they go under the same headings. I guess we'll have to think that through. So, and then there's probably potentially there may be 2 more culverts getting installed depending on the plans.
I wasn't, when I added it to chart of accounts, I was only gonna add, if I did add, a subcategory under the road maintenance line, further break it in, so that it would still be on one sheet, rather than people having to shuffle back and forth between a spreadsheet, whichever you think is.
And so if we add a sub-account to the account,
We can remove
next year
it.
we don't need it, you just hide it, remove it, or what do you do?
Just take it out.
That may not be,
That'd be,
I'd like to see that. I'd like to have all the billing, somewhere categorized separately, so that we can present and review that we've captured everything. But doing that sub-account probably would be a nice.
well, that way, anybody that sees the budget to actual for any reason,
Right.
will actually see it in there.
It'll answer the obvious question. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
sounds good, Brian, thank you. Let's see. Still don't know how we're going to set up the hearing for Snow Road Bridge, I guess. Our technology didn't fully answer that. The 10-person gatherings have still not been waived, I don't believe. Haven't seen anything come in.
can we, potentially, if we use a school, we're gonna have to inspect the school afterwards.
Yeah, it seemed like a
That'll
lot
be an
passed.
expense item that'll get billed back to us on that. Can we do a teleconference, or we open it up?
Well, that's what I'm figuring. We would have to do, something like that, or even have, if we could do a video, out there and call in, but Zoom's problematic. So I guess we're looking for that solution, and I think the planning board, ZBA, they've got some hearings coming up too, so.
So I'm just thinking, so we could advertise the heck out of it on the homepage of the town website.
No.
Put some postings at the library, put some postings here for anybody that wants to read it. If you wanna have any input relative to the meeting from a public standpoint, I don't mind opening it up. Let's try it.
All right, we can do that. I guess we've got,
This is one where putting an email ahead of, sending an email with your question ahead of time, people don't know what to even ask because they haven't heard the presentation.
oh yeah, no, it's gotta be in the moment for sure. And it will have to be advertised in the newspaper because it's a public hearing. So I guess we kind of looked at it. Brian, I see you.
What's your drop dead date on having this hearing?
I don't honestly know, because what it comes down to is before we can be awarded, any funds, potentially from the USDA, we have to have already held, this hearing. And I believe we submitted for about the 15th or the 17th of April was the deadline to put things in. And the approximated review date was 45 days. So that puts us out to pretty much the end of June.
I was only asking because if you decide to go with the consolidated contract, Linhab gave you some prices pretty inexpensively to have Zoom, which will allow give and take back and forth with just a wide angle camera.
So,
You might wanna, I'm only thinking you might wanna hold off a little bit until you make the decision. If it's a no-go on consolidated, then do what Chuck is recommending.
Yeah, the other thing we could do too, kind of setting it up, because it's an important meeting to be able to get free money. We could actually, in one of our selectmen's meetings, just do a short overview of what it's going to be, almost like a rehearsal of the public meeting, and that way anybody listening to the tape can actually send in their emails and their questions, or get their questions ready, so that when we do the live teleconference, they've already been thinking about it to ask the question.
all right.
Giving more information than less.
And that's good. We've got approximately 3 weeks to solve this in whole.
I don't think, even if we decide to go with the consolidated contract, I don't think we're gonna have it in quite that quick.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So the phone line opening up is probably,
So do a short overview next week's selectmen's meeting. Here's what we're gonna be talking about. Will we have enough information to do that at that point?
yeah, well, it's not a lot of information.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
that was a setup question. I knew there wasn't a lot of information.
Yeah, so, well, just because we have this opportunity to get it on tape, is quite simply, it's a USDA grant for up to $250,000 to help fund the construction of the Snow Road Bridge. So this is free money, no strings attached, and that is to say we don't pay any interest back, we don't pay any loan back, we don't have to have an exact match of funds or a percentage of matching funds. It's up to 55% of the cost of construction is what it is. So this could greatly reduce the money we have allocated on our behalf at town meeting for the bridge construction. It has the potential of reducing that by about $100,000, in which case we save all that money and look at the next bridge down the line with that. So it's free money, and there's not a lot more to say about it other than if we don't fix this bridge, you're gonna end up with dumpsters in town, because just getting a 90-day permit for another location is not easy to do. I covered that with DES before. So this is it, you know. Otherwise we put it on the backs of all the taxpayers, whatever the cost of the bridge ultimately comes out to. And I think everybody would prefer not to pay $250,000 more in taxation and take free money. That's what I could say. Do you have?
No, that's good. And if we set the date, June, whatever, set a date, reference back to this meeting, and basically anybody that has questions that they want to frame up in an email or a voicemail to the town, leave that information regarding this upcoming public meeting on the USDA grant.
Okay. So the office will have to know that they may get some questions, and we probably should get something on the website. Chuck's writing, so a short and sweet questions to be taken at the given date. I guess we'll have to figure a date for the public hearing, because we'll need to advertise it.
It would be nice to, if I'm going to put something up on the website,
have an act.
have a date.
Yeah. How about the 23rd of June? That's as far out as the 30th is really at the end of the month. We might be pushing our window. So the 23rd, and we could do that here at following one of our regular meetings. Guys, what's your timeline? 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock? 11. 11? Oh, good. 11. 11 a.m. public hearing. USDA grant, Snow Road Bridge, 23rd.
Hardware time is good enough?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So that's all that's on the agenda here, I think. So,
I want to add quickly, if I can.
yes, Brian.
Friday is the deadline for the FEMA and CARES data to the state for the first period of payback under those two for the coronavirus issue. All of that has been given to the Emergency Management Director, but I have heard nothing from him. So I will reach out to him this afternoon or after this meeting and see if I can have more information for tomorrow.
Okay.
And is he joining us tomorrow afternoon in the work session to talk about the alarm policy, or is that?
I believe so. He was going to make some revisions, I believe.
Yeah, I saw something come out over the weekend. I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Oh,
So he sent something.
did he?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. I saw it. I didn't read it either.
I guess
Came through as administrator, not Randy.
Oh, okay. I'll have to follow up on that because I did not see that.
Well, when I get home, I was going to dive into that today anyway. So I'll forward it.
All right,
to
yeah,
everybody.
please do. I too was a little busy this weekend. Some little projects around the house that
Well, is there such a thing as a little project around that? I don't know. Mine didn't turn out.
Ongoing projects.
Okay, so hopefully, you get a hold of, Chief Burbank and he's available tomorrow, that would be great. And we'll make sure we get that information for Friday, that's important.
It has to be in the state's hands on the 29th.
Okay, no pressure.
He may have it all done, I don't know, I just haven't seen it. He's gotten the information from Chris on the stuff we were putting together for this office. So I just haven't seen anything. And I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that the 29th was a drop dead day.
And we want the opportunity to go through it to make sure you have everything included, I'm sure. Randy's usually very good at meeting deadlines, so I don't suspect that'll be a problem, but it'd be nice to be able to go over it and make sure everything's.
Because I'd like to put the Dropbox, because it appears the CARES Act is gonna pay for that, not FEMA. So, there's a lot of stuff that can work back and forth between the two.
Okay. Yeah. Now we want to charge an hourly rate, Tom, since they're reimbursing, I mean.
Yeah, it's all right. I got that down here.
Oh, good.
You need to put that down because even volunteer time is chargeable.
The latest rate for volunteer efforts, as published by the state from 2018, is $25.76 an hour for volunteer work.
Oh,
That would include travel as well as work.
well, I guess you ballpark that at probably about 8 hours each because of every, materials, forms, a little bit, I guess.
It will need to be documented.
We'd have to talk it. Anyway, the money would go to the town.
Yeah,
Right.
the documentation is dates and times, and a very, very short phrase on what the effort was.
Yep. You can try and throw something together on that. Money won't be coming to us as selectmen, it'll go to the town.
Actually, I believe that can be used as part of the offset to the FEMA money, which at this point in time is still 75 federal, 25% local.
Okay.
State or local.
All right. Well, we'll give something back to the town, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to you, Tom, I guess, if anybody else, anything, we'll give it to Tom to select.
Not much here, just, Wesley met with the outgoing welfare officer last week. Everything went good. I sat in for a while with him. She got everything she needed, the keys, computer, credit card, that was never activated, the new one anyway. And I talked to Wesley, she thinks it's all going good. That she, and she doesn't even know she needs another training session. The outgoing welfare officer said she would come in for another training. And I talked to Wesley, I'll talk to her again after here and see if she wants to do that or just say.
It actually might be something worth considering with the offer on the table for a couple months down the road.
Yeah.
After you've done a couple,
Right.
come in and do kind of like a refresher, shorter time period, but.
I believe you got the laptop back also.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the keys, laptop, got to get into the desktop out there. I'll show all the files and all that. But, so that seems to be going forward pretty good.
So I just wanna add that I do believe, and I could be wrong, but everything I see on the budgets and everything, and I know it's easy to mix the titles, but I believe it's actually general assistance.
Oh, okay.
Versus welfare. I think welfare says one thing, I think general assistance says something else.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, didn't mean that.
Oh, no, that's fine. I have thought a lot this weekend, what we discussed last week about, the QuickBooks and all issues ongoing. Are we gonna have a non-public today? Can we have a non-public today on
Sure.
this?
Yeah.
I think, cause there are some names I think that will be thrown out and
Okay, we can do that.
and that's all I got.
Yeah.
Okay, short. Actually, tomorrow afternoon, I will come in and after our meeting and review the waste management records from September 25, 19 to March 26, 2020, which is actually a 6-month window. What I want to take a look at is what we had in revenues from the demo area against what the hauling fees were from the demo area to see if we're close to that 75% offset we were looking for when we kind of designed this way last summer. So I'll take a look at that, and hopefully I'll have something for next week on that. Patty from the elementary school, principal, came in today, picked up the signed student promotion certificates for the folks that are being promoted from the elementary school up to the middle school, and she took those this morning. I had a chance to look at the consolidated proposal last revised, which included the library, and based on the cost, there's no way we're gonna move to consolidated at the library because it'd be close to $250 a month, and that's just outrageous. So Brian had given me a name of an executive at Spectrum, and for kicks and giggles, I reached out to him literally Friday afternoon before the holiday. I got a response back in 10 minutes. He's actually connected me with the Government Affairs office in New York, and I'm supposed to be getting a call this week from them on that. So hopefully we'll get a Spectrum solution. It's a better solution for the library when we get done that. Libraries in the Spectrum world under that government area apparently do get discounted fees for services and equipment. So I have no clue what that looks like. It's all dependent upon some of the government stuff, but it could be as high as 60 to 70%. I'll know more after I talk to these guys and gals as to what the possibilities are. The Effingham Preservation Society held a Memorial Day weekend plant sale this weekend. There were an awful lot of people, upwards of 20 people or more, that dug up plants in their backyards or from their businesses donated plants. And that literally started at 7:30 Saturday morning because I was down there and there were people standing there doing plants. The goal was to raise $1,000 because we know we're actually going after the LCHIP grant. Literally that money will be doubled if we receive the grant. It brought in more than $1,000 total with the plant sale this weekend. So for everybody that hears this from the standpoint of this recording today, thank you very much for your time and your efforts. There was a lot of volunteer efforts pulling it together. There were a lot of volunteer efforts in pulling plants out of the ground and putting them in containers and getting them down there. But I went by a couple times on the weekend and it just kept emptying. People kept bringing in more plants throughout the weekend as the thing was emptying out. So it was a really good event. So thank you to all those that worked on that event on behalf of the Historic Town Hall project.
The Preservation Society has really been right behind this project all along with a lot of support. They donated money, time, a lot of effort, physical effort, so it's great.
And that's what I have for today.
All right. On your consolidated proposal that you're talking to Spectrum, now, I believe this has already been asked and answered, but the Spectrum, they don't have a competitive offer for us at this facility, right?
We don't know, because Brian was never able to get a final answer. I was never able to get a final answer. But while I've got these folks on the phone from New York, I will ask the question.
Well, that was kind of where I was going with
Because
it.
we do know out front of the building, we have both consolidated fiber and Spectrum fiber.
Right.
So fiber runs by this building.
Yeah.
And also, they both run by the library. So that was one of my questions. And Ian with Consolidated did confirm that yes, fiber would be available for the library. So part of my question to Spectrum when I talk to them is, the competition's got it, it's the same pole, can you do it? And how much?
And I would, with your contacts, quiz about the fire department too. I don't know if fire departments fall in that category with the library to getting any kind of beneficial break from it.
They didn't, based on the site that I looked at, but that doesn't mean they don't with a government agency, I don't know.
Okay. Well, if you're
I'm
comfortable
I'm gonna ask for the moon.
Okay, great. And since we're kind of focused in an area that you've been working on, Stanley Demo, any updates?
Did we send the check?
The mail went out.
Okay.
It went out in the mail on Thursday,
I let-
along with the signed agreement and the 50%.
I let him know it was coming, and I haven't heard anything since, but I'll follow up this week to find out.
Okay. Heating system in this facility, I am curious. I've called one guy a couple times who didn't get back to me recently, was interested in looking at it, had somebody else come in and look at this project. Unless we can find a couple more people to come in, companies to take a look at the heating system, we may have to put it out for a bid. So just figured I'd ask you fellas what you think of that, if you had anybody you wanted to bring in. I think there was some discussion before about
Well,
contacts.
in trying to find vendors to get on the heat system for the town hall, because it's a sizable project. I finally had to get out to Rochester, and I ended up Strojan Heating, Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning out of Rochester. Guy made an appointment, came right up, was very quick on the turnaround with the pricing scenario, so, I would say that might be an option.
You want to set it up, and if
Yep.
you're not available, I'm happy to be here.
Okay, I'll call him.
Great.
And I just had someone kind of, not a contractor, but just someone to give us as a board knowledge of what we now have and anything we see on paper from a bid or what have you. We would kind of have a little homework on it. He hasn't been able to get up. He lives in Mass. Got a place up here. He's been following the, stay-at-home march. So, but he hopes to get up here. He didn't come up this weekend because he figured everybody else in it, and he hopes to get up next weekend. He has no problem.
So this is basically an independent consultant that you
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not charging the town anything. He's just doing it as a favor to us.
Nice.
That's all.
Well, I'm fine.
Hopefully he'll be up here this weekend. Nellie, we'll have some, I know some about it, just, you guys do too, but if we start getting contractors giving us all this information of what they're gonna put in, what type, at least we'll have something, we'll be able to,
Yep, informed decision.
Right, yeah. That's all I got on that.
Okay. Let's see. Some of these other items I have here, that's a big priority, covered most last week. Brian, if we could potentially have a budget versus actual for tomorrow's work session as well, kind of like to do a quick scan through the budget. We had one more review we wanted to do, and we just haven't found the time to get to it. And we certainly want to make sure that we're on top of things before we have the budget committee coming in for another meeting.
Before you leave today, can I give the three of you a copy of that?
Oh, absolutely.
And then start things as you're questioning so that I have the data. Because quite frankly, sometimes I put stuff in columns that you don't like it in, you want something else.
Okay. That's probably directed at me, I'm thinking.
I don't know.
I didn't say
Tom,
that.
it didn't sound like you. It didn't sound like me.
I was getting a little bit of a,
But it would behoove you because it would go a lot faster if I had the backup data so that
Sure.
areas that are of concern, I can show you what's there.
No, that's fine, Brian, that's great. Sometimes I find myself going through the prior week's minutes, since we don't have minutes for today. I was looking at a few things to recap. Tree on Drake Road is gone. The stipends was covered. Oh, cemetery, fees for plots, I guess is anybody taking that one on? Is anybody looking into that? We just have to get back to that when time allows.
If I can do it before tomorrow, I'll do some internet searches to come up with some of those price ranges from different sites that I had seen within New Hampshire. And, we can then take a look at it. But there weren't nobody's specific pricing structure by a town was on there. it was really summary reports by essentially state level or some association of some kind to pull together the numbers. But the numbers were between, $300 and $2,000, so it's like it's higher than what our rate is right now.
Yeah.
And there were different ways of doing it too, because you can actually do a plot fee, but you can also add on a care fee. So some of them basically, by adding the two together, you were up in the $500 range, because the plot was one number and then the care fee was another number.
Aren't these perpetual?
Yeah, that's a town
Yeah.
cemetery, so we.
But you can charge that.
I thought that was all included with the price of your lot, that it was.
It didn't appear, it could be, Tom.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
one of the things I saw from a New Hampshire town or city was this breakdown, because I thought that was kind of a unique way of doing it. It's like, here's the plot, here's the care fee going forward, perpetual, the one-time fee. So, but it was broken out. But we can do it either way, it makes no difference.
Yeah, I think, we probably wouldn't get into a care fee here because I don't think anybody has that in their policies today. So we might be opening a can of worms. But we can discuss it all for sure. And, again, I think if we're going to do a price change, that's going to need to be a public hearing kind of thing.
Yep.
And I probably wouldn't want to mix that in with, I think that would be something we do with,
In a separate meeting.
yeah, well, with like the fire department stuff, the false alarm, the other things we've got coming for public hearings. Like the bridge one is probably gonna be quick, easy, and it has a drop dead date, so we should probably take care of that and then lump a bunch of other things in when we can solve the puzzle of how to really communicate with the public, because this is an item that's apt to have a lot of back and forth, discussion. And I wanna give people that opportunity.
Because just touching on the cemetery of the prices.
I'll get back to her. I'm so overdue for a haircut. That call is getting answered.
Won't that have to be mentioned in the deed too, that if it's perpetual care or?
I do not know, I don't know enough detail about it, Tom. I was doing high level research on how the packages are put together and what the pricing structure was, and then in one of them, there was this broken down price structure.
I get
And
it.
it kind of like just identified it, it didn't get into any kind of contractual agreements or anything like that.
We have the contractual agreements here for things I
Right.
should think that we
Yep.
reach in the past.
But we don't have to make it complicated, it can be just one
Yeah.
number.
Covered a lot of the things here on last week's minutes. I'm gonna get a phone number from Deanna, she's been bouncing in and out of the room here. Yeah, okay, I guess everything that was in our past, meeting minutes is covered. So, I guess I don't have anything more, outside of, what Deanna has just dropped in front of us. The supervisor's checklist,
Yep, looks like it's reading material.
corrections, applications for voter change of party. So there's gonna be a date for June 2nd from 7 PM to 7:30 PM at the fire station to change your, make registration changes, party affiliations and so forth. This will be the last session at which registered voters, Democrat or Republican, may change political party affiliations until after September 8th, which is the state primary election. Undeclared voters may choose to join either political party at the state primary on September 8th. I think maybe this probably should be something that goes up on Deanna's, tax collector on the website rather than try to get through all of how this works as it goes into some COVID guidelines and such. We'll touch base with, Deanna before we leave to get this posted, but there is a date, June 2nd, 2020, 7 PM to 7:30 PM at the fire station for the supervisors of checklist for anybody who needs to change their registration for a political party affiliation. So, I feel that's adequately covered. All right. So I guess we're going to go into a non-public session.
which will need a roll call vote, and that is for, do you have a 91A listing for that, Tom? It's gonna go under?
I just,
It's an employment issue.
yeah,
Employment issue? Okay, and, we'll put that under RSA 91A3, Roman 2, parentheses A. And that'll, the motion to go into non-public will be made by
I make a motion to the non-public.
Mr. Hart,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Fuller, and if there's no discussion, roll call vote to enter in.
Hart, aye.
Fuller, aye.
Cahalan, aye. Okay, let's take 5 minutes, and we'll go into that. We'll have Glenn operate the, public portion of this mute. Actually, we can just mute it and come back on. We'll see if we can do that anyway. Or we can shut it down. Maybe it's best to shut it
Shut it
down,
down, come back.
come back on, and then go public, and then adjourn.
Your time on hold without the host has expired. Please confirm the scheduled time and conference code, then try again. Thank you and goodbye.